This is the boundary stone number 1 at Stephens Barracks in Kilkenny, and you can see it is inscribed WD for War Department, and then it has an arrow, which is a military symbol, number 1, and cardinal directions. And there used to be 12 of these around the barracks. And I want to thank Jim O'Keefe for sending me on the locations of all the 12 markers, so I could show you where the 4 lost ones are in this little map here. Thanks, Jim. Only 8 of them are surviving now, and I have photographed them all and uploaded them into their own category on Wikimedia if you want to check them out there, or if you want to check them out in person, you have to walk around the barracks, on the outside of course. Only 2 of them have the cardinal directions on them, number 1 and number 2. The other ones just have the W, arrow, D, and then the number of the stone on them. 2 fell victim to the roundabout in the western corner of the barracks. The gate had to be moved, I think, and they were on the gates or in that vicinity, so they got lost somehow. And another one was on Ballybocht Street, which is also gone, but in total 4 are lost. With some barracks you can find them on the old Ordnance Survey maps, not in Kilkenny. They are usually marked with BS for boundary stone, not in Kilkenny though, as I said, no BS in Kilkenny. What you do find on the old Ordnance Survey maps though are the benchmarks, and there used to be also more benchmarks around the barracks. There are only 2 surviving now, and both of them are on either entrance into the barracks. There is another survey marker at the little watchtower along the Castle Comer Road, but that's just a bolt that is screwed into one of the urine deflectors around the army barracks, which have been there since 1871. As you can see on the 1871 Ordnance Survey map, the urine deflectors, which I have talked about in a previous video, but they are already on the 1871 map. You can map boundary markers or boundary stones on OpenStreetMap if you like, and I will show you how you can do that in OSMAnd, because you will usually walk around and see them and spot them, and then you can add them to the map using OSMAnd. Of course, you can also use every door, or if you remember the location exactly, you can go home and use the ID editor. I added those ones all in OSMAnd, and then I went in and snapped them to the wall, which of course has to be mapped as well, in the ID editor, and added a couple of more tags, and I still have to add a couple more. So I will show you how you can do that in the ID editor. And then you can go around your town, if it was a barracks town, and see if you can spot them. There are quite a few still around, I think. In Clonmel, Youghal and Wexford, I think I have seen them there, but there must be other towns that had barracks or still have barracks where you might still find the boundary stones. In OSMAnd, you zoom in on your location and add a marker as close as possible to where the actual boundary stone is, and go into Actions and create POI. And under POI type, you type in boundary or boundary stone. And in the advanced tags, you can add the inscription. In this case, this was number 5. I couldn't type in the arrow. I added that later on in the ID editor. And you might also want to add the material, because it's Kilkenny and we're very proud of our limestone. I had to add that, of course. And then you upload, and Shinna will. Now I'm back on my computer and I've typed in openstreetmap.org. I'm logged in with my username, and this is the corner where I filmed the intro, and I'll go into the editing mode. They are not rendered, as you can see, on the map because they're just not important enough anymore. I mean, if Ordnance Survey couldn't bother to put them on their map, why should OpenStreetMap display them? But here is the cornerstone, and this is the little boundary stone marker icon, and it has a fix me request, which can be deleted now. And you can see that I've added a couple more tags here. Historic boundary stone was the one I added in OSMAnd. And the inscription, you can see I added the arrow, and I added a mapillary ID and a note because I wasn't quite sure if I read the inscription correctly. And this one also is on the National Inventory of Architectural Heritage, which you can find on the Historic Environment Viewer. And it's this one here, this blue dot. You can see the photograph there. The category is unknown. And you could click on the link and get more information. But what you need to add to OpenStreetMap is just this number here. 8 digits. I don't know if it's always 8 digits. Just copy that, and the key is ref IE NIAH, and you can paste that there. And then I have also linked the Wikimedia file, of course. What I haven't done yet is describe what kind of a boundary it is, and it is, of course, a military boundary. So it's very simply done. You just type in boundary military. It should come up. Maybe it doesn't come up automatically. Maybe there aren't that many mapped, strangely. And if I wanted to go around now and add that to all the other ones, there is one. For this one, I also added the direction, which is another thing you can do. Boundary. It seems here I haven't added the Wikimedia file, but we can do that. Category boundary markers. I've forgotten what the category is called. I'll go into my uploads then. And it should be, this is number 9, we'll get there, but the category is called boundary markers at Stephens Barracks. Number 2 is here. So I can just copy this here. And you can see how it also has the cardinal directions on it. Wikimedia comments and paste that. And then go around here. This is the little survey bolt that is screwed into the urine deflector. Quite a few urine deflectors around the barracks for fairly obvious reasons. And then here is a benchmark. I think that's actually wrong, that should be here. Oops. Because every time I go around this roundabout, I look for it and I can never see it, but I'm fairly sure it's actually here to the right of the gate. Oh, that's shoddy workmanship. And here is another boundary marker, which does have the Wikimedia file linked. Boundary military. And then another one here. Boundary military. By the time you do this, it should come up automatically. And this is number 6. Number 6. So on a wet day, sure, that never happens in Ireland. But you see, this one doesn't have cardinal directions. It just has W, arrow, D, number 6. And round we go. There's another one. Number 7. There was a pure chance find. And then number 8 is here. No, this is number 9. Number 8 is here. Boundary military. And number 9. Material limestone. And then this should be, this is Sorvent. This is number 11. Boundary military. And that should be it. And then I can save that. Added material boundary type 2 boundary stones. Sources survey, I suppose, and upload that. And as I said before, they're not rendered, so there's nothing here. Neither are the benchmarks rendered, not on the OSM Carto style. They are rendered in OSMAnd. I'll put a screenshot there to prove that. If I wanted to look for them on Overpass, I'll use the wizard and just type in historic equals quotes boundary underscore stone. Let's say in Ireland. I might have mapped some of the ones that I've seen earlier already. See if that works. Yeah, and maybe it wasn't just me. Maybe other people have done it too, because I've certainly not been to all these places. And they might not all be military. If I add that, maybe boundary military. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. It reduces it to the ones in Kilkenny. But there's y'all. And there is one. This is the former location of the barracks, I think. Don't know y'all that well. But I remember going up this hill, so maybe I did add this one. And you see, apparently it has the inscription BS as well. And another one down here, I don't know, that is just like a town boundary. Inscription Youghal District Urban and Rural Bounds. That you get that as well, and there is stuff like that in Clonmel, yeah, as well. And they're not all boundary stones, sometimes it's just a plaque. So this is more of a townland or a parish boundary, I'm not quite sure. But I thought I had mapped some in Clonmel. I'm lost now where the barracks are. Here. So there might be something still around here. I'm certain there are benchmarks, several along these walls. Anyway, I'm getting distracted now as usual. But I'm sure there's more to discover, and you don't have to just map military boundary stones. The other ones are just as interesting and historically relevant, and I'm sure there is more to map in Ireland and elsewhere, of course. So thank you very much for watching, and please check out other videos of mine if you're interested in mapping history or heritage, and like and subscribe if you have the time. Thanks very much. Slán go fóill.